Hey y'all, and welcome to Monday Night's Treasure Vortex with Gypsy Jules from YouTube's Zero Discrimination, as well as her website, gypsydigs.com, and myself, Amanda Digger Degaz. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And tonight we have no special guests, and we have some good topics that we will be going back and forth on. So let's get Gypsy on in here. Hey Gypsy, how are you tonight?
Hey there, I'm doing great, doing great.
Good, good.
Uh, Good to be here. I guess I sound a little bit better than last time.
Much better.
I know last time I was hacking and coughing, and I'm still coughing, but getting over this being sick. Um, I guess I still sound a little bit nasally,
Oh, but
but
nowhere near as bad as you did last week. You
right.
you you sounded like you had the hurt.
Oh, it was pretty miserable. I'll definitely say it was definitely miserable, but it's always good to be here, and hopefully I won't cough or hack too much. So, um, anyway, at least I'm feeling better. That's for dang sure.
hmm So, did you get out recently?
I did. Before we get into that, I know that the weather where you've been hasn't probably been that great, and you've been busy doing other stuff. But I know you didn't get out treasure hunting, but you actually ended up with some treasures, or you helped find something anyway. One of them may be
I,
a treasure.
I
Well,
was
it's treasure to both.
I was I was telling Gypsy you all earlier that nobody wants to hear the stories of my so uh on occasion, I rescue or rehab or whatnot animals, and we have like an outdoor cat house outside, like a cat dog house. We have there's definitely one feral cat I make sure that there's food out for, and we have things like possums and whatnot, and even them when it gets really cold, I like to put stuff out for them, and um, there's been a cat that's been hanging around that's super, super friendly. And it got to, 17 degrees on, I think it was Thanksgiving, and Friday it was 19 degrees. And it's been really, really cold. And this cat does not look like an outdoor feral nighttime cat person or thing or whatever. And it has been sleeping on top of one of the outdoor shelters. And I'm like, what the heck? So, Friday, I spent majority of the day wind and cold proofing an old kids' play schoolhouse and filling it with straw and um, talking to the local lady who deals with cats and strays and whatnot. And then got a phone call into the shelter, and they were like, "Yeah, that doesn't sound like a cat that should be outdoors all night." And so I ran over to Goodwill, and they had one cat carrier. And when I called the shelter, they had one spot open. And I'm like, all right, well, I went home. And I mean, this is a super friendly cat. Plus, it was polydactyl, which means it's got like six paws, like six toe
Oh,
beans.
really? Those
Yeah,
are cool.
it was, and
Six
when I
toe
picked
beans.
toe beans, and when I picked him up, he like hugged me, like wicked friendly cat.
Oh,
So I put the
so you knew
carrier.
it was probably somebody's pet.
Yes, yeah, but I couldn't. I had posted it everywhere, and nobody had said it was theirs. And I'm like, I can't do another night of waking up every other hour and checking to see that this thing's alive. And um, so brought the carrier home and set it on the ground, and the cat like went half in and then sat down like next to it. And so I picked him up and put him in front of it, and he went on in, and we put him in the car, and he did one meow, and then it looked like he fell asleep on the car on the drive to the shelter. And I felt
Oh,
so bad
gosh.
leaving him. I'm like, you know what? If he doesn't have an owner and doesn't have a chip, and would definitely be a cat we'd consider adopting. And then on Sunday, there was the cat lady in town was like, "Hey, this cat looks like the one you sent me pictures of." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And yeah, we found the owner. The owner was away for the weekend, and a neighbor was supposed to, I guess, check and make sure the cat was in. And so yeah, they got reunited this morning, and that was exciting.
That is so exciting. I'm sure they were glad to know that their pet was in good hands, that you rescued it from being out there in the cold and freezing all of its extra little toe beans off. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, so
So,
instead of digging on Friday when it was relatively nice and everyone's like, I talked to a whole bunch of people, they're like, "Are you getting out digging?" I'm like, "No." I'm on my I'm on my hands and knees putting plastic wrap over this and straw. The cat did sleep in there that night though. Like I got a picture of it sleep. It looks so comfy and whatever.
well, it's a different kind of treasure. You
Yeah.
rescued some treasure
Yeah, yeah.
it was their treasure, their pet is their
Hmm.
treasure. So that's awesome. Awesome story. You also found or rescued some other treasure too, didn't you?
I I have heard this there's local artists that do it, and then I'd heard about free art, and I know in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, sometimes artists will set out different ceramics they've done or glass, and they'll post a picture and it's like a treasure hunt that you go and you try to find
Uh
where
huh.
the art is. Well, this was not that case. I was meeting family for lunch and I walked across like past a bench and there was free art. It was a mason jar with a snow scene inside of it, and it says, it's your lucky day. You found free art. So
That is so cool.
yeah, it was. It made my day. It did because it was like I knew there was no chance of me getting out detecting, and I knew also when low tide was, and it would have been perfect. And yeah, just there was no getting down to do
And
any of that.
that's cool that it's also kind of partially repurposed art being in that mason jar. But at the same time, the mason jars, for us bottle
Hmm.
diggers and all that, are like a treasure on its own. So they give you a treasure with art too.
Yeah. Yeah, and the mason jar actually has like Christmas trees like embossed on it. It's really neat.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah,
That might
it's
be a very special one. It could be worth something.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's
Well,
cool.
my thought was I'd hold on to it and maybe next Christmas, or if I'll be traveling to Southern Mass in a couple weeks
You're
for,
gonna pass that art on.
and I might bring it with me and leave it somewhere for somebody else to find and post, or I don't know.
I think that is so cool. Just
Yeah.
keep on passing that art. That is
Yeah.
neat.
But it made me want to like, because you know me, I'm kind of artsy. I do a lot of beadwork and other
Mhm.
stuff, and I'm like, oh, I pulled
Add
the
to
bead
it.
kit out. I'm like, I should do this because it really did make my day when you just go and it's something that's, little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be neat to, add your own little treasure in there, maybe a little find that you found, and then and then put that art out for somebody else. And so then it's a piece of that person that created it, and you created it. And maybe if they put it out there that they found it, that's part of their thing that they should do is just keep adding to that little treasure, adding to that jar.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
and that would be cool. It might go on for a long time.
Yeah, good. Good. So if you're out there, and I know that I was friends, I still am, just haven't chatted with in a while. A detectorist that's he's in Ohio and or Kentucky now, I'm not sure. And when he was done detecting a property and he knew he was going to move along, he would find one of those like 8 millimeter um, film containers and he would put a find in it and a little note about himself or whatnot and bury it on the property in the event that in the future another detectorist would. And I'm like, oh, I liked that idea
Oh,
too.
that's a cool idea. I like that. I like that even, better than You know, I was thinking about this the other day, how much I would love to bury like a cache and have this worldwide treasure hunt. Maybe we could do it as Treasure Vortex.
Yeah.
You and I hide something, and then we give hints out on our podcast for the next place to look, or that leads you to the next clue. And then I love that. That would be a fun game.
Yeah.
That might be something you and I need to talk about and discuss off air, and then if we get something going, that would be fun to do, though.
Yeah,
What
it
do y'all
would.
think about something like that? Would y'all like to participate in a treasure hunt? Treasure hunt? Kind of like, yeah, more spin on it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think that would be fun. The Treasure Vortex treasure hunt. Don't get sucked in to the vortex.
Well, I still have all those hand-painted Treasure Vortex tokens too.
Oh, yeah.
Always put
See,
something else in it.
we could put all kinds of things in there.
Hmm
Ooh,
Well, the
that
Northeast
sounds
might be
fun.
off limits here in the next couple of weeks because the ground is definitely starting to take freeze. I went to move one of our outdoor chairs and half the ground came up with it. It was like, oh, this is frozen. It's the crust right
So
now, just the crust, but it's
we
gonna
would
end
just
up getting there.
have to take a trip to some warmer climate so we could bury the treasure there.
Mm,
If we bury it in the winter,
true,
and if we
true.
bury it in the summer, go someplace a little cooler to bury the treasure. Anyway,
Yep.
that's already a future hint right there for our Treasure Vortex treasure.
Yep, and I got it jotted down so we could talk about it off air.
But anyway, yeah, that would be a lot of fun to do something like
Mm,
that. But I'm sorry you didn't get out this week, except for those adventures. But you cat rescuer. But
Uh,
anyway, I did get out several times. Even that after I got over my worst part of my sickness. Let's see. I got to go back to the Money Creek, one of my
ooh,
favorite places to go. I keep saying I'm going to take you when you come and
yes.
visit in Texas. And
Hey, as soon as the
yeah,
snow flies, I might be headed that way.
all right, all right. Just come fly here with the birds. They're all heading this way too.
They are.
Just hop on one of those birds and fly this way. Yeah, we'll go to Money Creek. So yeah, yesterday, Jackie and I